Welcome, Stacy. I'm here today talking to Stacy Andon, who is a fellow coach, intuitive, spiritual channel, amazing human being. And we're going to be talking about movement medicine, therapeutic yoga, and your experience working in this modality last year. And I so appreciate you coming and talking to me today.
Absolutely. I want you to come around and just do that introduction.
I was,
I love that. Thank you.
yeah.
I couldn't wait when you sent out the first kind of invitation to see who wanted to be a part of it. I was like, "Oh, this is definitely me." And I was at the time I was I was in the middle of I think like a lot of things, coming out of a deep kind of emotional experience with the passing of a family member. We also then had to go through this family member's house. So there's like a lot of energy moving, a lot of physicality to it. And then my body was like, "Ooh, perimenopause. Let's dive you deeper into that space." And I think for me, there was a lot of well, there still is probably to some extent, but there was so much ambiguity around what was going on that I felt out of sync with my body. I practice to be connected, but there were things going on that I just felt like I wasn't quite sure how to navigate.
Yeah.
And I mean, I trust you. I mean, I've been in and out of coaching with you for a very long time. I trust the nature of your brilliance and the safety that you create for clients. And I was fascinated by this connection of movement and the therapeutic yoga because also too, I mean, I take a yoga class, but this was very, very different. This was very healing, very I love the one-on-one for me particularly because I had some of these kind of weird things going on, so it felt private and personal,
Mhm.
and very customized to
Abs
what like, every session you met me exactly where I was, and it was beautiful, and it helped me navigate and come back into myself in ways that were unexpected.
ah, I love that so much, and you know what? That my first question was like, "What was happening at that time?" And was it I didn't have to ask it. There you are, answering your question.
Have an in-law pass away, have perimenopause or
Mhm.
menopause, like, knocking on your door really loud, be a sensitive empath and have it all coming kind of crashing together in a very, very tumultuous kind of storm, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, that was quite a time for you, and I was so excited that you said yes. And actually, I remember, like, we were talking on the phone when I was driving back. I was on a road trip. I was, like, in the middle of Idaho.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes, yes, yes. I totally forgot that
Yeah,
part, but yes,
yeah,
sure.
totally, and I was like, "I have to talk to Stacy about this." So, I would love for you to talk about a specific breakthrough, like, one thing that you remember about the movement because I think what you're saying, like, it's not like a typical yoga class, right? Like,
It's not.
there's so much more involved, right? Like, the coaching, the energy, stillness, breath. Like, we are meeting you with a full complement, so I'm wondering, can you describe a specific breakthrough that you had during that
Yes.
time?
And I don't think you're gonna be surprised when you hear what I have to say.
Okay.
First of all, I wanna say one thing kind of just that was overall helped me tremendously was this idea that for most of any kind of movement I did, I was like, "Oh, I have to do it." Like, if you're stretching or you're moving your body in a certain way, you should try to stretch more, longer, harder, or keep pushing, and even if it hurts, like, that's good because that means you're doing something or whatever the case may be. This movement, this therapeutic yoga really gave me like it anchored this permission to go slow, to be gentle. It was almost like I had a lot of those practices in other places, but I hadn't really integrated it so much in all my body practices. And it was like, no, 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 we're not gonna you would say to me, if it hurts, take it, come back a notch. Like we're not here. And I think for me at first, it was like, is this really working? Right. Because my mind is like, "Oh, it has to hurt," right? Like, this is the mentality that we're all dipped in. And I will say that going as slow as my body needed in a moment, really listening and not just overriding was one of the fundamental things that even today, a year and a half later,
Mm.
I still practice. I hear your voice like, "No, don't go that far." Like if you're doing a neck stretch or something, like really listen where you are in this moment. So I have to say that first. But the breakthrough, first of all, the coaching, the movement, the energy work, all of it together was like nothing I had experienced, and it was incredible. I mean, if you could just we could do that every day, I think I'd, like, start my day that way. It was that beautiful. But I was having really bad migraines, and I had not had hardly a headache in my life ever, and I was getting, like, typical kind of regular migraines, and then I was having these vestibular migraines without the headache. I was having all these weird things going on with my body, and my head just hurt and hurt and
Mm.
hurt, and I couldn't hardly function, to be honest with you. There were days where it's like, I just have to lay down because my head was hurting or my vertigo. I wasn't driving when I had bad vertigo. I wouldn't want to go out and walk. It just my whole life just kind of closed in on me. And you had me lay down one time and I'm laying down. I have my whole like little yoga mat area and I'm laying down and you're like, okay, we're gonna do a gentle guided, I don't know what you called it. It was like a meditation. And you had me breathing in and out of my head. Like, you're like, "Okay, I want you to imagine" I can't remember exactly how you described it, but, like, I think you said this. It's like, imagine your whole head had scales, and you were literally breathing out all that pain out of the through the scales, and then, like, bringing in some fresh energy or however you said it. And I know you know I nicknamed it the Mermaid.
Yeah. Which I still call it that, by the way. You named it.
I named it that alone was I use that probably at least once a week, if not more still, even when I'm just all up in my head or, you just had a long day and you need to move that energy. I was finding, because I didn't wanna take a lot of medication, I was finding that as effective as a pain management technique as whatever other crazy things that they wanted me to take, which had a lot of other side effects, which was why I didn't really wanna go down that route, and so I was surprised because who would think the mermaid breathing would have the same beautiful effect of, like, taking these really strong medicines, and it kept me from having to do that, which was really important to me, and the fact that I still use that, like, if I feel that pressure coming on, like, okay, just sit for a few minutes, do your mermaid breathing. The whole imagery and the whole idea of just like moving that through. Again, these subtle things. I think that's why maybe when people are like, what is therapeutic yoga? But they're very small, deliberate exercises, movements, but they're so tied to your whole mind, body, spirit. I would leave, like, you would I don't know, you'd always have a quote or something too. There would be some theme and there would be something, and I was like, "Oh, it should just change my life now." And, like, I would leave and be like, between the movement, the things you were teaching me that I could also do, like, very easily incorporate into my own morning or evening routines, and then you'd say something on top of it that just would just be the would just encompass the whole thing, and I wish I could think of something that you said to me off the top of my head because I know I carry them around all the time and use them, but my menopause mind also sometimes does not let me access things as easily as I would like, but there were like, you just say a quote or a sentence, and it would be like, "Oh my gosh," and I think for me, it was like my mind felt so safe with you that my body could really receive it, and I knew we weren't gonna, like again, I think for so especially in that state where I was so unstable, I needed something that was so gentle and so nourishing and then so powerful, the effects where I was getting better. I was able to move around. I wasn't being as debilitated. And over the months that we did that, it just kept getting better and better and better. So um, I highly recommend this for
Mm.
that's
I love
what's
that, and I remember when, it was, like, backing up and how hard that was for you to, like, back off of going as far as you could, and I remember you talking about how you could see parallels and how that was actually even impacting how you were working.
yes.
Can
Yeah,
you
because
discuss that a little bit too?
thank you for reminding me of that. That was one of the other things because again, as an entrepreneur, just as a person on this planet,
Yeah.
like, oh, how hard okay, you did this much. If you worked 5 hours today or 8 hours today, you should work 9 hours and you should push and just because you're tired, you should keep going. And I think the other thing, and I don't remember if this was in there I remember you taught me this. You were like, "A yellow light does not mean put your" there we go. "Put your foot on the gas and keep going." And you were like, "A yellow light means slow down and stop."
Mm.
And I think my whole life, like, I mean, how many of us have gone through a red light too? It's like we push and push and push in our business, in our personal lives, with our bodies. Well, my body was like, "You're not doing that." It's like, it's a tiny bit yellow, like we're stopping right here. But
Yeah.
it took me some time to really integrate, right, that concept across the board for me. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I always like yellow light speed up. And that has been another huge thing for me anywhere, not just in my body, but it's like, oh, wait, let me do 2 or 3 meaningful things today. It's so funny. I just was remarking before we got on this call. I was like, I've got so many things done, but not like 20 things done, but like I've had space and time to eat lunch, take a little break, be able to move my body, get things done. And I was like, oh my gosh, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have been trying to cram everything. And it just, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. Or so thank you for helping me integrate that really, truly. The body for me, I think, was the last place where I'm still really trying to push even more so.
I mean,
And look for a fix. You're looking for a fix too.
yeah, right, you want it to
Yeah.
go away, you want the pain, you want it all to go away,
Again,
instead of, like, turning towards it and being like, "Hmm, what's here?" And turning towards it, watching that pain unravel, and then having patterns, like, new patterns that support the health and well-being of your body. I do
absolutely.
I do wanna say one thing about your experience because I think this is important, like, I was part of a whole care team. Like, you were seeing
That's
other people too, and
yes.
so I don't wanna, us to talk about this like it happened in a vacuum because you were working with other professionals too, and I wanted presence that because I think that we need a lot of different kinds of people on our team, and people can say, "Well, I'm gonna do physical therapy, or I'm gonna do therapeutic yoga, or I'm gonna have a coach, or I'm gonna go to a therapist," but
Yeah.
can you speak a little bit to that? Because I wonder if that was something that you thought about before you decided to say yes.
Mhm. I did. I love that question because I did. Here's what I thought. Okay, I want to have a couple people supporting me, a couple modalities supporting me. I don't want too many because too much, it's like it kind of just gets lost. It's
Yeah.
too much. You don't need that. It's like, again, trying to do everything. It was really about discernment. However, I was going to physical therapy at the time, and I told my physical therapist, I was like, I'm doing therapeutic yoga. And she's like, this is amazing. And they complemented each other. And, at the time, I was also doing I think my other modality was acupuncture.
Mhm.
And so these different pieces to support the body, but I felt they all really worked together. And I remember saying to my physical therapist, I was like, "You have to try this mermaid." Like,
Oh,
so I think that, again, this idea, at least for me, because I'm so sensitive for a variety of reasons. Not that I didn't use modern Western medicine to some extent, but they didn't have the answers and they didn't have the bandwidth, to be perfectly honest, to really help me when I was in kind of like, I don't want to say crisis, but I was really in this space. And so I did. I reached out to a couple different people that I really trust, and I was like, "Okay, let's just go slow." That was one of the things that you really helped kind of like everybody. I wanna go slow with everybody. I don't need this isn't a race. I'm not trying to get to some, like, "Okay, I need to be fixed tomorrow, and it's not working if I don't." But I think when you really trust people and you use these things it's integrative medicine or health or well-being, right? This holistic approach that if you're just treating one particular piece, you're kind of missing out on the integration of the whole thing. So, I mean, if you can, I highly recommend creating a team for yourself. Or I even remember years ago when I went through my divorce, I used to tease I had a, like, trifecta. I had a trainer, the gym that so I really could work out my body, but I had a really amazing massage therapist, and so then it was, like, the receiving and the relaxing to that, and then I had an amazing counselor therapist when I was going through my divorce, and those 3 women really helped nurture me, and so I kind of took that model and kinda ran with it because it works really, really well.
And I think that's true for everybody. I think we all need multiple people and teams of support,
Mm.
right? We need to have our team around us. And the other thing I just want to just highlight is the way that the work that we did and that you were doing with your team, how that influenced and impacted your work and your life and how you move through the world. Like that's really what I'm hearing. And you can disagree. Like, tell
Mm.
me
I
where that is correct, right? Like tell me.
No,
Okay.
you're spot on.
Yeah.
And I think here's another thing, that we don't talk about enough, is that we think we're all supposed to be going a million miles an hour our entire life, so when something does take us ask us to stop or slow down, first of all, we all wanna resist it because, again, it just feels so unnatural to just allow ourselves to be in these spaces where you pull off a little bit off the grid and you do take some time. It's so counter and it's even counter to the model of, like, you go to a specialist, right, and you get treated and then you on your way. But I really like this way more collaborative approach, and I think it's also too about the rhythm, and that's one of the things I think being in therapeutic yoga, like, taught me how to recenter or ground myself into a new rhythm of life. So, like, it wasn't just like, "Oh, you did this therapeutic yoga and off you are." It was like, "No, this is integration moving forward." And so being able to go, "Okay, how am I taking these philosophies? How am I taking this practice?" So that if you like I said, if you look at my life now and I'm like, "Oh, I have all this space," but I've carved out such a different way of being in a rhythm for myself that feels so much better. Even when, again, there's still moments where I'm gonna have a headache or there's still moments where it's not about coming to some perfected state or what have you. We're all in flux and in flow. But it's really about how do you meet yourself in those spaces? Do you really take the time to listen? Do you honor what you need? And that program really helped me reset things that I had been working on, but weren't quite fully integrated.
Mm. I love that. And what I hear in that, which is always my desire, is that one, that even if we're moving, we're working with movement, right? If pain is the thing that brings us into it and we're working with the body, that that spills over into other parts of your life and helps you reset patterns that
Yeah.
aren't working anymore.
Yeah.
And you are empowered. Like when I hear like I'll have a headache, but I know what to do,
Mhm.
like, that is ultimately my goal, like, I don't want you to depend on me. I want you to have the tools and the capacity, like, you are your own guru,
Yeah.
right? Because you know how to listen to your body in a different way now.
Exactly. And I think like that relationship with yourself and then to have the support, like there's a beautiful new way unfolding on how we can walk on this planet and take exceptional care of ourselves.
Mhm.
And I just like again, I think there's also a piece of like safety, right? Trusting your body. I've had a lot of trauma in my life. And so sometimes the pain comes up because there is something there. And I think every time we did in therapeutic yoga, you would ask like a question around that. And there was always something so beautiful that arose, not from my mind, but from my body. I think if I hadn't been in that program, like, I would have missed all of that wisdom
Mm,
that was right within me that wanted to be seen, heard, shared, all of that, because I think I know, right? I already think I know what it is, but when you really stop and you're like, "Okay, what do you" I don't even remember the question, but whatever it was, some similar question you asked every, session, it was like, "Oh, whoa." Yeah, like, oh, I need to do more of that in my life in general.
so much wisdom. So
Yeah,
much. So, are there any other thoughts that you would
mm,
like to like, what would you say to someone who's like, I don't know, is this for me? No. Like, what would
yeah.
you say to that person?
Well, first of all, working with you, I feel like, come take a step into the water and really try it, because what I do know about you is that, first of all, you're so one of your superpowers is be able to really understand where a client is coming from and then meet them. It's not like, "Oh, here's this program, and we're gonna you're gonna have" like, wherever you are, if you're feeling like, again, more traditional methods aren't quite satisfying what you need for your body, for your mind, for your spirit, and you want to explore this, I would say come in and try that, and know that it isn't like, I'm trying to think of like an example because I don't even do anything anymore that would be like this, but where you go into something that's like very prescriptive,
Right.
that's not what this is. This is like, "Ooh, where are you," right, feeling this kind of disconnect or this pain or what have you in your body, and I think that when you give yourself permission, regardless of what you discover, you're going to have some wisdom that's gonna come through. So people who are very much, again, sensitive beings in this world, people who are very much embodied. You and I both have done so much work on embodiment,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's not once and done or go see your embodiment person once a year. It really is a regular practice
Mhm.
of taking care of your body. So, anybody I think who's interested in really taking care of their body from that very grounded, practical and spiritual approach would benefit from coming in and see what this is all about. I highly recommend it. It was so relaxing too. It was like looking forward to just it wasn't, like it wasn't like yoga where you're, "Okay, we're doing that." You really just felt like you could come. It was like the 1 hour where I was like, "Oh, I know I'm just gonna get rest." But not in the way that we would, like, think of like, not a nap, but you would really get this deep rest as well, always kind of finish up and feel so replenished on the other side. So, again, for people who really are craving something like that, great place to start.
Mm. Stacey, thank you so much. I just may
Thank you.
your words like land like a balm for people who are struggling with mystery symptoms or pain, with confusion about what's going on with their bodies, perimenopause, menopause.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
may it land. And thank you for sharing your experience. I just it's really, really lovely. And I'm delighted that it's still working in your life.
Yeah.
Really
I
proud.
love it. The magic of Nona Jordan is always with you and working all the time. So come into the world of such and you will be transformed in ways that absolutely, like, again, it's like stepping into some, to me, like an enchanted forest where you have the things that you get the clarity, you get the physical support, and I cannot recommend it enough. So, thank you for
Oh,
everything. Always, I'm in such deep appreciation for you.
thank you. Thank you so much, Stacy.
You're welcome.